Okay, welcome to a Lobo podcast. Today we have Ken Flores, also known as Too Skinny. I was actually on his podcast, Talking My Shit, episode 109. Check it out. Anyways, we talked about his dad getting jacked in Humboldt Park, probably some Puerto Ricans, fighting Jonathan in middle school, and the kid I pushed who had the Forest Gump leg brace in middle school. I was also bullied. Anyway, whatever. Listen to the episode, see what happens. But also, Too Skinny almost overdosed the other week, by the way, so he talks about that in the podcast. But check him out at the Comedy Shrine in Aurora, September 24th and 25th. He's going to be headlining for the first time. Check out his Instagram, 2skinny300. Also, September 28th, any local listeners like Kalle, Beach Brown, M. Brown, Abi Sanchez, Schmitty B, Too Skinny, Anthony Fuentes. Information is going to be out on tickets soon. If you want to record a podhead, hit up James Webb podcast and support the Patreon. Tell a friend. Give me a review. Lobo down. Okay, welcome to the Lobo podcast. I'm your host, Giovanni Diaz. I don't have a shirt because I brought a work shirt and I don't want to wear it, so it's That's a thing. I keep forgetting. I'm gonna put one in my frunk so I don't forget to bring a shirt. To my left is James Webb from the People Economy Studio, Pop Studios, Punawar Productions.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hi.
Hi, he's behind the camera. There might be somebody else in the room, but I'm not going to mention them. They're hiding. They don't want to be on camera. They don't want to listen.
He's like me.
They want to hide from. Oh, can you get some more in my ears, please, James? Yeah, I always like it in my ears.
Dale.
Yeah, turn them up for me. And across from me is Too Skinny. They don't have any music. What's up?
Yo, what up, man? What up? Thanks for having me, man.
Dude, I like you. So Too Skinny he's a comedian. He has a podcast, talking shit with Too Skinny. I like that. Who did the intro music? Did you grab that from something?
Man, hell yeah, I stole that shit from.
Talk about shit.
It's called Moneybag Yo Pop My Shit is the name of the song.
Pop My Shit. Oh, okay. Yeah. Play it. I like his intro music. I was gonna be quiet. No, but anyways, Too Skinny is a junkie, drug addict. No, he's not. No,
yeah, for sure. Let me just say, man, say how it is, bro.
You can't get enough of that white. No, this is what happened. So we did the podcast, right, and we talked about. So when I'll talk about weed, but let's say. The person who ever did the other drugs, we'll say he's a character I do on the podcast. Like Alex Jones is a character when he got sued, right, in court and tried to get his kid. That was all characters. So this character my character, right, would do cocaine like you would do. So you said you did it for like a year. You only did 3 or like for 6 years. You could only think a handful of times that you didn't do coke.
Yeah,
right?
In the past 6 years, I could only do. I could in one hand I could count how many weekends I didn't do coke.
Didn't do coke, right? Yeah. And it was a mix of drinking and smoking and doing coke together. Yeah. Which I call it the Mexican method, where it's like drinking and doing cocaine, because white people do it without like alcohol sometimes and by themselves and. It's scary to me.
Yeah, like
how they do that.
You know what, bro? Like I talk a lot of shit about white people, bro. I always say like,
but they do things right.
Yeah, but low key, bro, like that's the best way to do coke is without alcohol because you feel everything, bro. Like that shit is fire. But like sometimes I only drink so the homies don't be like, oh, that fool's weird. He just doing coke without any alcohol.
That junkie.
Like I gotta force myself to drink, and sometimes coke gives me like a gag reflex, so I always like automatically throw up. Like I can't even stop it. It
Especially
just happens.
If it's shittier, right?
Yeah,
My character's talking from experience.
Yeah. So like sometimes I'll pound the beer back and they'll all come back up, and then I'll throw up on all the homies and shit. Like fuck, you know. So then they'll be like, you know what? Stop fucking drinking. Just do your coke, man. So
what was the first time you did it?
Man, the first time
it was your dad or
hell no. I did it with my uncle, but no, it was I was like 19 at the time, so I'm 25 now. I don't know what year it was, but yeah, I was 19 at the time. And I was at not a family party. Sorry, it was a party, a Mexican party. You know, it was a family party, not my family. You know, I was just there.
Yeah, that's party as well.
Yeah, so I ended up going there, and this dude, he was a big drug dealer from like my town. Like he was popping. So
is this in Aurora? Or is this when you live somewhere else?
In Aurora. So he was like the shit. You know, so he had booked this band called Bucanas de Culiacan. They had just put out a Netflix documentary. and they were basically interviewing them because they glorify narco corrido music, you know, like so cartel music. So my homie, they were coming to Chicago to play a show here at a club, and my homie was like, "Fuck that, come to my backyard and play for me." And he paid them, I don't know how much money he paid them, but they came after their booked gig here. They came, and everybody was doing coke, like everybody had keys in their nose, and I had never done it. And basically all the drug dealers in my town were there, you know. And I wasn't a drug dealer, but I was just, you know, motherfuckers.
Drug dealer adjacent, yeah.
Yeah, you know, you try to be cool and shit, trying to make them and trying to impress the motherfuckers and shit.
You get the leftover pussy.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I love it. I love that shit.
Here, yep.
So just, you know, just kick back pussy for being around the motherfucker and shit. Yeah. So everybody, they were like, "You want to try it?" I was like, "Fuck it," you know. But even though I did it the first time, I wasn't geeked the first time. Like I didn't get geeked till like 3-4 more times after I did it, bro. I remember I had bought a gram of like some great shit, and I was at a family party that was actually my family, and there was this girl there who was a flight attendant, but everybody knew she was a thot. So I was
flight attendants are different.
Yeah, so I was like, fuck it, like it's my turn. You feel me? Leftover pussy. You know? And she's like, "You got coke?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got coke. I had a gram." But I was like, "It's at the crib. I gotta go get it." Definitely didn't have it. I went to buy that shit from somebody. So
I've done this shit. Yeah, I got beer at the house. Yeah. I got beer in my car. It's in the trunk. Mom, leave the door open.
Yeah, exactly.
You still got those modelos.
Exactly. So I end up going to buy the gram, you know, and then I end up coming back in the party, and we go into the bathroom of this family party. So it's in the house. It's not outside. So the whole family's inside the house, and we're just in the bathroom in the middle of the whole party, breaking down lines of coke. And this is the first time I had actually done lines of coke, because I usually only did bumps.
Yeah, usually
so
bumps.
I started breaking down lines because she wanted lines. I'm like, yeah, I didn't even know what the fuck I was doing. I was just chopping. I chopped the whole gram up into like 7 lines. So that's a lot, you feel me, per line. And we just started railing that shit. And then like we finished it. So I was so fucking geeked, but so fucking horny. We started making out, and then my homie's mom, who's the owner of the house, started banging on the door. She's like, "I gotta go, move her fucking car. Like that bitch's car's in the fucking driveway. Get the fuck out of here." So I'm like, fuck, like hold up, like I'm barely about to get this pussy. And then she was like, "No, like
go to the fucking lawn, bitch."
Yeah, so then the girl was like, "Well, let me go move the fucking car. I'll be back." And obviously, like, she goes out, everybody in the party's looking at us. I'm geeked as hell, paranoid as fuck. So I'm just like, well, fuck, I'm not gonna wait here. What am I gonna wait for her to come back in the bathroom so we could keep fucking? So I was just like, man, fuck it, I'm out of here. So I ended up leaving that party, and she was so geeked too. Like, she just wanted free coke, man. She got back in the car. She ain't even come back. That bitch dipped. so I end up getting home that night. It was like 4 or 5 in the morning, and my mom.
You gotta have them suck your dick first before they get the coke.
Yeah, I didn't know that. You know, it was my first time. Well, it was my first time. You know what I'm saying? Like actually buying the shit.
At least grab a ball, bitch.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. Grab a ball like I did, man. Like, so I ended up fucking coming home that day, and I remember like that day was the first time I recognized the feeling of being actually geeked, because my mom was up at like 4 or 5 in the morning when I came home, because she was getting ready for work. So she starts talking to me, and we start talking about like my sister, because my sister started doing like she was doing bad in school, you know. So my mom's trying to talk to me about how her behavior is, and I'm so coked out. I'm like into it. I'm like, I think maybe we should enforce discipline. Like I'm talking shit, bro.
Coke making you a better brother and son. Okay,
exactly.
I like that.
And my mom, like, she always likes to
you
talk.
Hear that
She's
kids
a talker.
do cocaine if you want to have a better relationship.
It'll make your relationship stronger with your mom.
Family, yeah.
So I end up talking to her for like hours. She ends up calling off work, doesn't go to work. Me and her talk till like noon. At noon, I start coming down, like crashing, starting to hate myself. I'm like, all right, I'm going to my room. And then I went to my room, and then ever since then, it's like fucking guitar solo. Like, I just started doing coke every single fucking weekend.
Ever since then. So my character, when was the first time he did coke? First time he walked into his friends doing coke, but they were like doing a coke in the back of a shoe store, right? And I walk in. At that time, you know, I never seen coke, my character. Anyways, I never seen it. I was like, man, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck you guys are doing? You can't do coke. Like, it's a real drug. This isn't weed or fucking, you know, whippets or anything. Like, or it's fucking, you know, trying to do sniff alcohol or something like that. This is real shit. And I was like, no, my friend's like, I want to be Hollywood, blah, blah, blah. You know, I've always wanted to be Hollywood or an actor, so this is what they do. And I was like, you know, and I was like, ugh. But then I don't remember the first time I actually did. I remember like I started doing it with them, but at the time, my character was like allegedly, right? I was like, man, this is shitty. To me, it was like, man, this is kind of like coffee, but I liked it because it was like giving me a pickup. But I did the Mexican way, was drinking. You keep drinking, you stay up, and you stay straight. You know what I mean? You don't get too fucked up. So that's, I remember we did. But then when my friends stopped doing it, I stopped doing it for years until like I forgot when my character got into it again. But it was like probably for women or something like that. Like same thing. It was like a girl, whatever, and then I would get more to make sure there was enough for the ladies, and that was it, dude.
Yeah, I think that's when, like, because I used to just do it with the homies, and like it was a homie thing, and then like that shit started getting boring because it was like, man, we just do the same shit. We get paid every Friday, then we go get coked out in somebody's garage, and then I hate myself the next day, and it's it's the same fucking thing. So then when I found comedy and I started doing shows and shit, and I started bringing sex to shows, like I remember the first time I ever got booked, because I was never a drug dealer, but I would middleman shit and make like an extra dub just so at least I could geek myself for free. So I remember the first time I ever got booked on a paid gig. Right before on stage, I served somebody a gram, and then I grabbed the mic. I served somebody a gram as I dapped them up. As I'm walking to the stage, and then I grabbed the microphone.
How much was this gram?
It was $80 at the time.
Yeah, I figured 80, right?
80 bucks. Yeah.
That sounds
right. So it was damn, I don't know what the fuck I was going with that shit, but yeah, like when I found comedy, like after shows, then you start meeting people, specifically like girls, and then when I realized that girls were really into coke, like I didn't know, like it was a whole different world. I was like, oh wait, I'm entering into like the Hollywood, like the Hollywood side of coke, like oh bitches like coke. So then it was like everybody, I mean shit, like it's like when you're into like when you want a car or when you buy a car or you're looking to buy a certain car or not even just a car, anything, right? Let's say I'm really wanting to buy these Shure microphones. You're gonna notice them everywhere you go. Yeah, you're gonna notice them everywhere. You feel me? So like with the coke is like I just like I couldn't even see a motherfucker get the sniffle because I'm like, oh, he do coke. Like, I used to think everybody was doing coke.
When you start messing with, like, you start seeing, and I taught this to my girl, like the other day we were at a party, right? And then she was like, hey, I think this couple like does, like I taught her like they do coke or something, and I didn't pay attention to them. I looked at them, I was like, oh yeah, that guy does, or something like that. You start seeing, you start noticing things like I don't know, when you do drugs, you notice other people who do drugs. When you're a pervert, you notice who else could possibly like that I haven't been able to pick up as much.
Right, I was gonna be like, oh yeah, but I was like, no, hold on, that means I'm a pervert.
no, like you start picking up like, but you start, I started. I mean, now she knows. She's like, oh, this guy, or like, but the problem is she knows now. She would know if I were to do, but it's like I told her if I were. Oh yeah, my character, right? Never really fucking.
Yeah, as of recently, now that I haven't been doing it, I've been around the homies, and like when you on that shit, bro, you feel like you know everything. Like you feel like you are superior to everybody.
You won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you won't shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
And you know what? You know what's funny too? Because like when I get to a certain point that I'm too geeked, I actually shut down. Like I won't talk to people. And when I'm sober, I talk the most. Okay. So it's kind of weird, But if I'm in the beginning stage of getting geeked, like the night just started and I'm taking my first few lines, my first few bumps, I'm talkative as fuck. But like come like midnight when I'm already like a gram in, I shut down, which is kind of like the not fun part of it. You feel me? But at that point, you're too deep. You just want to snort something. I don't give a fuck what it is. Crush a pillow up, give it that shit to me. You feel me? Like,
I never. Well, that was me with booze. Like once, like when I had some booze in me and I was drunk, like I didn't give a like you could have had whatever, and I was like, I'm trying it. I wanted to try. Like I never. My character never smoked crack, right? But there was one time, man, when Hustle Man was there. Hustle Man, I think we pulled up Hustle Man. He's this dude in Zion. Each town has their, certain crackheads that live there, older dudes, because younger people really don't smoke crack now. It's an older person thing. They do pills and things like that. You know what I mean? Rock. So then he, man, I was like, Hustle Man, can you go get some crack? You know what I mean? Like, I'll smoke it with you. And he was like, God. He either went and got cracked and smoked himself or didn't believe me that I was going to hook him up, and he disappeared. But I remember that night I was very wasted. I was like, I was ready to smoke some crack with Hustle Man. I didn't give a fuck, dude. But that was me with booze, with the cocaine. Not so much. I don't know. I was thinking maybe I have some ADHD because it would kind of straighten me out a little bit, right? And I'd be kind of focused or whatever. But I didn't have. So you just quit because you had an OD moment, right? Was this last week or something?
Yeah, it was on August 4th. I remember because I was looking at my phone. I was like, fuck, I'm going to die on August 4th. That shit not even finna look good on the tombstone, fool. Like, it's not even the fucking... Like, my birthday, June 10th, I want to die on the 10th for it could look like... bitches look at it and be like, oh, those are angel numbers or some shit like that. Like, that shit just... August 4th, I don't know. I feel like I didn't want to die that day. But yeah, I did. You want me to talk about it?
All right, wait. Well, before we get to that, I'll tell you, you were saying, I wrote down New Year's for a reason. Oh, you had that girl in the bathroom. I had something happened to me. I was in Honduras, in this island of Honduras, right? Oh. Let me just go through the story in my head. Okay, my character was in the island of Honduras, right? And then I was there, and the same thing. I met some girl, right? It was New Year's. We just showed up on the boat because it was an island, so we just pulled up on the boat. And then we walk through the water, we go there, and then some girl goes up to me, and I didn't have this long hair or anything. Look, I had this like Drake look thing, right? And in the Central American country, I was like, oh, hey, that's Miracle with Drake, whatever. And I was like, I could pull it off. I'm not saying I look like Drake by the time. I was probably skinnier too. And then so some girl goes up to me, she's like, oh, she starts talking to me, and then later, because we were with some friends, and those friends had a bunch. Like at that point in my life, the bag they had was, I had never seen that much in my life. I think probably looking back, it was probably just like an ounce or something like that. But like, I've never seen anything like that before.
Compared to a 40-sack, an ounce is a lot.
Yeah, like all I've seen is maybe 460s and maybe like a ball a few times here and there in my life. And that's it, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh shit, right? It's like, fucking, wait, how much is an ounce? 28?
28 grams.
Yeah, 28 grams. Yeah. So me just seeing like, which is a ball is 3.5, an 8 ball. Anyways.
8 times.
Yeah. So then I'm like, but I remember I'm in the bath, like I say hi to the girl. We start talking, and at one point we're in this bathroom, right? And then I pull out the Coke, and I'm like, she sees it. She's like, oh, her eyes fucking light up, right? And then she takes these big old fucking bumps, like big, like
Mexican uncle
you
bumps.
have an ID, like a fucking, let's say there's a size of ID. It was like the size of this pop socket, right? Like
damn.
this. And I was just looking, I was like, holy shit. Like, I take an eighth of probably what she does. And I was like, but then I hear her family calling her name, right? And I'm in the bathroom right there, and she was sucking my dick and then doing the lines.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah,
left that shit out? Hold on.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, right? She was sucking my, this is New Year's. That's pretty good New Year's, right? This is a few years. It's before I met my girl, but not that much before. But anyways, so then I was like, oh man, this is a pretty good New Year's. But then she's like, fuck me right now. I was like, all right. But then I hear Sophia, the mom, she's with her family, right? And earlier when she's of age, I verified this. But earlier she said to me, she's like, when I first went up to her, she's like, oh, I'm 17. I was like, I don't want to talk to you. But I was just messing with you. But then I found out she wasn't. But then in the back of my head, I hear Sophia, right? I hear Sophia, which I guess it was her name. Wait, I was supposed to do the fake name before I said her name. Whatever, man. She was fine. Anyways, thick too. She's pretty. Anyways, thick. I like them big. So then I was like, and I hear the family's looking for her, Sophia. And then she was like, I was like, hey, that's your mom. They're looking for you. And then in my back of my head, I was like, wait, is this bitch of age? Was she messing? Now I'm thinking, like, I was like, we're in a different country. What if I get arrested? Woo woo. And I'm like, she's like, fuck my fam mom. Just fuck me right now. I was like, the fuck out of this bathroom. I ain't trying to go, what is it? Arrested Abroad, whatever that show was. Locked Up Abroad. So yeah, so I kicked her out.
In a foreign country, that's probably the last of your concern. They'll probably kill you before they fucking arrest you.
Yeah. So then, you in the bathroom, but like, I got to the Coke, and I made sure to get my dick sucked before I was like,
the mindset of a fucking fiend is that you were getting your dick sucked and you still were worried about how much Coke she was sniffing out of your bag.
I was like, bitch.
Because if I was getting my dick sucked, I'm like, I fucking take everything. You feel me? But then I think about it like I'm geek, like fuck that. You know what? Yeah, because I'm a fucking crackhead. Because not a crackhead, but a cokehead. Because man, I remember there used to be some fine ass bitches that would come up to me and like sometimes like if I wasn't pay week or whatever, I'll get a 40 sack. If it's pay week, I'll get an 8 ball. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like when I had the 40 sack, like, I don't give a fuck how bad the bitch is. Like bitches used to be like, oh, you want to snort coke off my titties? Like fuck that. You feel me? That's a waste. That shit finna fall. Like for real.
No, but hey, so Aurora, what's up with Aurora? There's East Aurora. What I don't get. Like I always hear East Aurora. What is that? That's a ghetto part.
Yeah. Or? So like we represent heavy. So if you listen to pod, you probably hear me like talk about it a lot. But like Aurora is split up differently than Chicago. Chicago is there different neighborhoods, different reps. Everything is different. But like Aurora is split up down the middle. It's east side of Aurora, and then there's the west side of Aurora. The west side of Aurora is mostly known to be more like upper class or higher middle class. I would want to say not upper class, but like higher middle class. More white people, more mixture of people. East Aurora is like. It would be like
blacks and Mexicans.
Mostly Mexicans. Mostly Latinos. I'd probably say the population is about. I mean, this statistic is completely off, but it seems to be 80% Latino. Okay. Probably like 10% black, and then the rest everything else. You feel me? But like there was like no Indians in my school, no Asian people. Probably like 3 white people, and then all Mexicans. So
this East Aurora High School, or whatever.
Yeah, East Aurora High School. Yeah, and then and then it's a little bit more ghetto. A little bit more. Yeah, I mean, it's not like Chicago, so I don't want to compare myself, because I know people from Chicago, they get mad, like, oh, y'all in the suburbs and shit. But, I mean, for what it was, though, it was, like, I mean, it was pretty ghetto.
What just happened? I heard you talking about it. A bunch of kings just got busted in Aurora. Was that in Aurora?
Yeah,
or no?
man.
Latin kings.
Yeah, man. I actually did a set at the Comic Shrine last Tuesday, and somebody heckled me, and I ended up coming back with the article, and then I just kind of rolled that shit out throughout my whole fucking set. But now I'm worried that.
What was it? Was it King Kai or something like that?
Kilo Kai was the name of the operation. I sound like a fucking fed on here, but.
Kilo Kai. How do you have so much information?
They gonna think it was me and shit, bro. But nah, there was the special forces unit out there did a 2-year investigation, and they ended up scooping like 18 people up and shit for class X's, all kinds of shit. So they had an undercover out there, basically.
Yeah, Kilo Kai is that?
Yeah, so like I went to school with
Look at the bottom right. Look at that face he's making. You see him? No, the guy to the left.
Yeah, some of those motherfuckers been through some shit. Like I went to school with.
It looks like he's farting
over there. That's my homie all the way to the left.
Where?
Okay, you want to know? Fuck it. I don't think he listens. Okay, so remember I told you about one of my homies who got that banned for his party.
Mm-hmm.
Careful.
One of them.
Okay. Oh, look at this dude, LNL. Let me see some of these face tattoos. Oh, so that's the dude in the middle. He's like, look at that face he's making. He don't give a fuck.
For sure getting smoked.
This guy, oh look, the guy over there, he looks religious. He has a cross on his forehead.
There's a kid on there somewhere. He looks like 16, like he just got done crying. There he goes right there.
Oh wait, the top left? Oh yeah, he fucked up. He's like, man, I'm just trying to be cool.
Like that dude's like a king
look,
and
this
goth.
motherfucker, this young fucker. He has the fade. No, he has a blowout. No, he has the fade
shag.
with the shag.
Yep.
And what does his tattoo say?
LK.
Oh, okay. Oh,
probably his initials or something. Is that what you got? JD.
JD, yeah. Divine disciple. Oh, there's few. Oh, these are guys are at large. Diego, Salvador, and Jose.
Yeah, those are grown ass men, man. That's crazy. But yeah, man. So like they do that shit every year to them, bro. Like, cause they let everybody in that gang. Mm-hmm. They don't do background checks, nothing, bro. Like they didn't fucking start weeding the motherfuckers out, bro. I think I was making fun of them. I was like, these motherfuckers, like, they're down bad. Like the army after 9/11, they was just taking anybody in, bro. And that's what happens, bro. You take anybody in, then shit like this happen, bro. Like every other year, you could probably look up an article like through the Beacon News. They like, Operation some pick up 16, pick up 26, and like it'd be like 3 of the same motherfuckers every year and shit.
Yeah,
I'm like, y'all gotta watch out for them motherfuckers. How the fuck they keep getting out? Motherfucking check the paperwork. That's what my homie said.
No, I remember like I wonder what happened there with prices. I just remember like I wonder if prices went down or up. You know, prices went down or up that week.
Man, you feel
or
me?
It takes
like,
it 2 weeks for it to kick in.
You know what? Like them motherfuckers, man. I don't know, man. Like there's different markets. There's different markets. You feel me? Like there's like people that like serve to like party people, white people, mm-hmm. and then there's like the street motherfuckers that serve to like in the hood. Like usually the gangs stay to like the ghetto dive bars, stuff like that. And then if you're like at a club or like somewhere a beat like Naperville, shit like that, there's different people, right? But I don't think so. That the reason I'm saying that is because them getting knocked off didn't affect shit for like most of the people in the suburbs doing drugs, because most of the people that are in the suburbs doing drugs are middle class people that are not going to buy drugs off these people.
Okay,
these motherfuckers selling drywall.
They're not. Some older white executive isn't getting one from LK on his face.
Yeah,
over there.
Fuck that shit. You feel me? Like he don't give a fuck about that.
On the podcast.
Yeah,
I'm curious what happened with LK. Where'd you grow up? So you grew up in Aurora. Where'd you guys come from?
I actually was born in Humboldt Park. Like I grew up there until like about 5th grade is when I moved out to Aurora.
And you're like, fuck these Puerto Ricans.
No, my dad, bro. We ended up like my dad used to live on Wabansia and Tallman. Mm-hmm. That's where so it's like Maniac hood is basically who'll be over there. Like my fun fact, I don't know if you guys ever seen the show Gangland.
Oh yeah.
But my dad's first apartment when he moved to Chicago from Mexico is featured on Gangland. Oh. Like they're like, oh, this is a prime spot for the Maniac Latin disciples. And my dad's in there, making sandwiches and shit.
He's like,
yeah, so then from there he ended up moving towards like the Logan Square area. I mean, back in the day, we called it Humboldt Park, but I think now it's like Logan Square or whatever the fuck it is. It was like right off of it's Kimball and Armitage. So I lived right on Kimball in between Armitage and I don't remember the other street. I don't remember. But right there. So
how old were you?
The 6th grade is when I moved out there. So I was whatever, like 12, 13 maybe.
Okay.
But the reason we really moved is because my dad had left. He had my dad. We lived in a fucking 2-bedroom basement. We paid like $600 a month. Flood every single time it rained. But he had a fucking brand new Lincoln Navigator on 22s, like with the CD changer and the big ass stereo and shit. Like he didn't give a fuck about his family. but we used to pay the landlord to keep it in the garage. And this specific day, the landlord was doing like some type of car work right on his car. He's like, "Oh, can you just do me a favor, park it like." In like the house 2 doors down. They also owned that, but it was a lot with no gate. So my dad's like, fuck it, for a little bit, it's not gonna be a problem. So we go ahead and do and park over there. Then he makes me take out the trash. And as I'm taking out the trash, I can see the alarm is just fucking going crazy because he put an aftermarket alarm from like the Mega Mall. It's just
protected by Cobra.
Yeah, exactly. You feel me? Exactly, bro. Like battery about to die out just because the alarm been going off for 30 seconds. So he ends up. So as I'm coming outside, bro. I'm taking out the trash. I see the alarm going crazy, and I see a motherfucker jump out the back window. And then I got scared because at that point I'm shocked because I'm like, oh shit, that's our car. I don't know him. That's not supposed to be going on. Like, also, you're already in the car. Why the fuck are you just open that motherfucker? Like, how you gonna jump out that bitch? Like,
yeah, dude, it's just dramatic, dude.
Hurt yourself, dude. But anyway, so I go in there, I get my dad. I'm like, yo, what the fuck's going on? So he ends up still catching the dude trying to reach in for more shit. So he ends up running towards the alley to catch him. And as he runs to the alley, he realizes there's a car there with like 6 other motherfuckers. Ooh. And they just look at him, and he stops in his tracks. And they didn't even run. They just looked at him, let the dude get in the car with all the shit he had. They closed the door and left 10 miles an hour. And then he what the fuck was he gonna do? You feel me? So
car stereos, all that shit.
That same day, we were putting up at that time plasma TVs that came out. So we had bought a dope ass, like I think it was like a Panasonic or some shit like that, and we were unwrapping it. Like his homie had stole it from a Circus City that was closing down.
We're service state of the art.
Yeah, and we bought it for like super cheap. But then we were unwrapping it from bubble wrap, and then as that was happening, we were like installing it or whatever. My dad comes back in, he's like, "Fuck that shit, wrap it up. Like we're not even gonna stay here." And yeah, like a few months after that, we came out to Aurora. And I became a cokehead.
Dude, that's funny. Your dad's like, my kids get flooded every weekend, dude. But the moment they fuck with my car,
yeah, dude. Oh yeah. Like my dad would not give a shit if I was the 19th person on Kilo Kai, but if his stereo's gone, like he's leaving the fucking city.
No, oh, that's funny, man. No, we moved to the sub. Like, I don't know how'd you feel about it. Like when I moved to Waukegan, right? I used to, and I thought to me it was the coolest place in the world. To me, it was a big city, right? When I went to Waukegan, so when we moved, because we lived in the fucking, like, I don't know how you grew up. We grew up. I was in L.A. for a little bit. We lived in a fucking garage behind my grandma's house, right? Then I lived in my other grandma's house. And we moved here. I lived for like a motel for like a week or two because my dad came to a few years before. And then we had these apartments in Highwood, Illinois. It was called a Ramada, right? I think it's North Shore Estates, but they call it a Ramada. It was full of Mexicans. So it was how Mexicans, they call it a Ramada. And we jumped in a few different like units there. At the end, we got to the corner unit, right? That had like 2 bedrooms or maybe 2.5, and then a balcony. So it was the nice shit. And then we moved to Waukegan, right? Yeah. And to me, I remember when I was younger, I was like, man, I was excited to move to. It was a cool town. And how was like the move from the suburb? But how old were you when you moved to the suburbs?
So, I mean, I had to have been 13 years old around there, maybe 12, 13, right? Fifth, going to 6th grade. You know what? So I moved in the summer. I moved August. So like right now, actually, like the end of August, right before school starts, we moved to the newer part of Aurora. So I still went to East, but my parents' house is like a newer house. So it looked kind of nice, you feel me? It was a 3-bedroom house, 2 stories, like no base or anything like that. It's not like super huge, but it's like a little newer, so it's dope. So to me, it was like, my house is like the fucking house that you draw when you're a kid. It's like a box and a triangle at the top. Like the perfect suburban home, you feel me? And I grew up in the fucking basement, so I had to go, like I said, my shit was flooded every time it rained, so like to me that shit was like dope as fuck. I was like, holy fuck, like we fucking made it. But it was so fucking depressing. I live on a fucking main street. The CTA passes, I'm chilling in the front, like people are outside till 11 p.m. Ice cream truck passed by at fucking 9, 10 p.m. Like we don't give a fuck. Like, we were out there all fucking day. And you move to the suburbs, ain't shit going on. And my mom didn't know how to drive at the time. It was only my dad. So we were like literally
stuck in the crib.
Stuck at the crib, bro. No furniture because my dad just bought the house. He didn't think the shit through. He didn't have no credit, so we was sitting on fucking nothing, bro. So we was just literally on the carpet, laying on the carpet. Like, it was a nice house, but we didn't have shit. So it was so fucking depressing. We ended up getting into at that time. Rebelde, the novella was popular.
I hate Rebelde.
Oh man,
there's a reason I hated fucking Rebelde.
Okay, well, yeah.
There was this one girl every fucking time. She's like, "Ay, nada que ver, Rebelde." It's all she talked about, Rebelde. And then like she was one of these people where like that wasn't her real personality. It was just it was a front. Like Rebelde, everything was cute, but like in the inside she was broken, sad, and wanted to kill herself. Never got any dick. She was that one girl in the crew that like none of the dudes wanted to fuck. Like not nobody. Like all that girl, whatever. I hollered at her friend. And everybody hollered it, but like it was like what is it? All in water. Like it was repent. Like all right, we all go out. Okay, this guy hollers, but it must fucking just eat you up. When she's not even that bad looking. I don't even know why. Maybe it's out of the and shit. Like why is nobody trying to fuck her? I felt bad, but even me, I was like, nah, I'm cool with your rebelde ass. Get the fuck out of here. So you fucking love Rebelde.
It got me through like depression in a way.
Sailor Moon.
But we would come to Chicago every single weekend because I don't have too much family here in like the Chicagoland area. My dad like kind of fucked up in his relationship with his family, so we don't have uncles. But we ended up becoming like super close to our landlords who lived above us on the main floor. They actually they raised Mexicans. Yeah, they raised me, and they would babysit me because my mom used to already work in Aurora third shift, and my dad worked first shift in like Bedford Park. So they were always at work.
When you guys were in the city,
in the city. So then when we moved out there, every single weekend we would come back. I did not spend no weekends in Aurora, at least for the first 8 months that I moved out there. My mom couldn't take it. Like we were like. Dude, my mom, she lived a fucked up ass life. Like, my dad used to put her through fucking hell, but she said nothing made her as sad as being out in Aurora compared to being in Chicago, just because it's so nothing goes on there. Like, if you don't know nobody, it's the worst because you feel like don't shit ever happen there. So yeah, it was the worst until I started making friends, you know. And like the first day of school was crazy for me because I got into a fight. Like in my first day at my new school, I had only been to a fight one time before in the city. But I mean, it was whatever. And then, but everybody was always into fights. You feel me? Like it was nothing new. And then when I moved out here,
why'd you gonna fight?
Dude, there was like this. So in the whole fucking Aurora, there's like 3 white people, and they're all trash. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
they came from Joliet.
Yeah, like they're white people, but they think they're black. Like that type of shit. You feel me? Or like they have a black stepdad, so they're kind of black, but not really.
Okay.
So like then they got the black character, but it's just they're not black. You know? So they end up. So this dude ends up talking shit to me because I was wearing like some fucked up ass shoes. You feel me? Like he made fun of me. So I was like, oh,
had some
like,
dirty white fat farms.
Yeah, and he had like a nice ass. I'll never forget his shoes because that was the first time I ever seen a fresh pair of white Air Force Ones, and I was like, holy fuck! Like they're so white, they just like capture your eyes, you know. And I had some fucked up ass. Like my shoes look so fucked up because
the cocaine shoes.
They had all like furry suede. Like it was like a fucking Paris Hilton car, you know what I'm saying?
Your
like
shoes?
Yeah, it looked like an arcade. I don't know, it was fucked up. And he was making fun of me. So then after school, like everybody was instigating this shit, like, oh, the fat kid, the fat new kid, you know, and Jonathan was his name or whatever. And we ended up
Jonathan.
Yeah, oh yeah, my bad, not you. So his name really was that.
That's funny.
So we ended up fighting, literally fighting right outside the main office. Like we went out of the whole school, we went to the front of the main office. Like we wanted to get caught. And we just literally pushed each other for like 30 seconds until like somebody ended up coming to separate us, and then they was taking us to the office.
Do something for no, you do something.
Yeah, exactly. But and then I ended up pushing him into a tree, so the back of his head kind of hit a tree a little bit, but it wasn't like a problem, you know, like he was still standing. So it was like, okay, like I think I won. And then they grabbed us from the wrist because we were kids, you know. They grabbed us from the wrist, and the principal was like, not the principal, but like the teacher, whatever. She's like, you guys are both getting referrals. And I had never heard that word, like a referral.
Oh, I remember referral.
I was like, is that a good thing? You know, she looks at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I ended up getting a detention. That was like my first experience there. But that helped me because then all the black dudes that hated this white dude were like, oh, cool, you're cool.
Yeah, you're cool with us. Fuck Jonathan.
So then from there, I started getting like all the black homies and shit. And I locked in with them at first. Those were my first friends out there in Aurora until like 7th grade. I started hanging out with Mexicans and shit. But yeah.
I remember I knocked over some dude too once, but he had, man, this is where I felt bad about it. Remember Forrest Gump? He had them leg braces, right? There was this kid with these
you
fucking leg
miners
braces,
fighting
dude.
fighting cripples and shit.
Dude, he was this
man.
Filipino kid, right? Great hair, very soft. You know how some Filipinos have very like nice, soft, straight hair, and I don't. Right, my hair is poofy, and when I first grew it out, I looked like Ronald McDonald, with like a Mexican Ronald McDonald. But he had this great part in his hair, and it just fell, and it was like it reminded me of the kid from Terminator 2, who's probably on drugs now. I forgot his name. Do you remember his? I forget, but I'm sure he's on drugs. Yeah. I wonder how he's doing. I'll look him up. I wonder if he's on drugs now. I know he is. But remember the kid from T2, right? I don't know if you saw it. You're younger than me. You might have not seen Terminator 2.
Yeah, I saw Terminator 2. I just like, it's so crazy to me,
punk.
like how people know actors' names. Like I have a bit actually where it's like white people are the only motherfuckers that always like know an actor's name. I don't know no actor's name. Like
fucking right, bro.
Caddyshack to
like,
the fucking word.
You gotta say his name. What's his name in the movie?
John Connor.
I want to know who the fuck.
Oh, there we go. Edward Furlong. There. Oh yeah. Then look, he looks like he's in court. There we go.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That is not good, bro.
Terminator.
I'll be back. No, you won't, motherfucker.
Fuck.
Oh god.
Oh, look at that
bro. He's like Michael Jackson, dude.
Okay, now pull up. Let's pull up Fat Val Kilmer, dude. I love these motherfuckers. Let themselves go. Oh, look, because this hair.
Don't
look
make
at
fun of
hair.
Val Kilmer. He's in like a real bad spot right now.
Well, yeah, New York. Fucking
Okay.
oh,
No.
and then Brendan Fraser. We're done, dude.
Oh, my man's.
Then Brendan Fraser's the last one.
He's coming back though.
Huh?
He's coming back though.
Brendan's
making a fucking.
He's just
Damn.
older, dude.
They just meme them so much that people are like, okay, we'll accept him as he is. He used to be my favorite. The Mummy used to be my favorite movie growing up. Like,
One of my favorite movies I saw like 5 times was Blast from the Past with Brendan Fraser. With what's that one chick from Clueless?
Reese Witherspoon.
From Clueless.
Oh, Clueless.
You're thinking of Sweet
Alicia
Home.
Silverstone.
Alicia Silverstone, right? Yeah. This is older dude stuff. But man, what the fuck was it? Oh, this kid, right? This kid had this little parted hair, or whatever. He had the leg braces, right? But he was a popular kid. You know what I mean? He was more popular than me. So on the social middle school or grade school, whatever, not anarchy, hierarchy, right? He was up here, so it's like, but he was making fun of me one day at lunch. He just kept fucking roasting me, and I was like, man, dude, fuck you and your fucking leg. And I remember I was like, I'm done. I pushed him or something like that, and his dumbass, because he had the leg braces, he fell back like, oh weird, it fell and fucking hit his head on the fucking metal part of the tubing on the fucking in the lunch table, those metal tubing that hold it there. So then I had to go to and I had to spend my lunch with the vice principal, like in the office for like a week or something like that. And there's one more memory from that school that I feel bad. I made this girl cry, who had she had a heart condition, right? She had a hole in her heart. Right?
the fuck, bro?
Or something like her, some heart condition. And I just remember that her and Jeanette Tello kept fucking roasting me. I'm gonna say Jeanette Tello's name because I remember one time she went up to me and she's like, "Oh, do you watch?" I think it was Saved by the Bell, and I was like, "No." It's like, "Oh, you gotta watch it. It's the best." And I was like, "You fucking fat bitch, fuck you," get out my fucking face. But her and Jeanette, they kept teasing me one time. And this is like, I have 3 things I regret in my life. I don't know. I'll ask you, like regrets. And I remember I was like, I said, at least I don't have a hole in my heart. And then the fucking cafeteria shut down. Everyone's like, what? No, fucking, what's wrong with you? Blah, blah. And I was like, man, my bad. I went too far. Blah, blah, blah. But at the end, I was saying that out loud. But in the end of my head is like, look, bitch, you fucking deserve, like, you deserve that hole in the heart. But what you're getting right now, the feeling of feeling shitty about it, maybe you shouldn't fucking
fuck with people.
Yeah, quit fucking with me, bitch.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that shit,
like, you
dude.
should know, like, you have a hole in your heart. So you should be like, you should fucking have a fucking heart for, like, what I did to you, bitch? Leave me alone.
Well, that's the thing. That's why she doesn't have one, because, I mean...
fucking cunt.
Dude, talking about making a girl cry, dude. I remember one time I made a girl cry, but she beat my ass. She beat my ass, bro, so fucking hard. Like, but yeah, I was in lunch, and we're the same thing. She was talking shit about me, and I was talking shit about her.
The tissues, I forgot, but go ahead. Yeah,
but she was talking shit about me. I was talking shit about her, and then I used to live up the street from her, so I remember her mom was like really abusive. So she would like yell at her, treat her like shit, and we would be able to hear sometimes, you know. So she had called me like fat and like said something about like my really like. I was really fucked up. Like I didn't have no friends. Like I had just moved there type shit. So then I was like, man, like at least my mom's not out there yelling at me. And I did an impression of her mom. Yeah, I was like, métete a la casa, cabrón. Like I made a whole impression, bro.
Fuck yeah.
And then like luckily people laughed, like they were like, "Holy fuck!" Because changed the language and everything. And dude, like I think like she got a flashback to her mom, and she broke down crying. And I was I was like, "Oh shit, I fucked up," So I just kind of turned around, and I was kind of the people were still laughing though. They were gassing me up like, "Ah, you got that bitch!" Like, but I felt bad, and then out of nowhere, bro. I don't know if you ever been hit like when you're not expecting it.
Yeah.
But she fucking punched the fuck out of the back of my head, bro. I was like, what the fuck? Like, and then I just like I thought it was gonna be like a one hitter quitter. I was like, you got me right. So I turned around. I was like, all right, chill. Boom, boom, boom. Got hit like 3 more times. She hit me with a combo, bro. I ended up.
It was like Street Fighter 2.
Yeah. Like everything she was holding in for her mom, she let me have that shit. I ended up putting my fucking head down, bro, and she just meek, like fucked me up, bro.
Dude, she probably is a great fuck.
Yeah,
Man.
no, she's a CDL driver now, has a girlfriend, so it's like, so I don't feel too bad.
She's like, I just need a pussy, fuck it.
Yeah.
But look, oh man, you made me think about these. You said one time, there's like 5 now. Like I'll tell you one, man. Oh, I feel bad about it now. This girl, I won't say her full name, Tiffany Peterson. But look, what the fuck? Fucking Tiffany. No, she's cool now. But man, I remember one time she was in school one day, and like I noticed this, pretty flat chested. The next day, like there was some titties there, like within a day, and I was like, and nobody noticed, and I was like. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, she had no titties, she had titties, and what a little fucking punk I was. I forgot about this. I'm glad that some of the bad things have happened in my life. Good karma, right? So then I was like, and I remember I was like, I don't know if I didn't say, where'd you get them titties from? I didn't say anything like, but I remember I was like,
Fucking God.
what the something with, I had paper, I had tissue on me, right? And I kept teasing her with this tissue. Because I don't know if that's a thing. You would put tissue in your bra or whatever to make your boobs look bigger. I've never done that. But I remember I kept fucking fouling around with this tissue. I don't know if I was throwing the tissue at her the other day. And then finally, like, it was a cafeteria. She broke down. She just went up to me. And she's like, yes. Are you, okay, I put fucking tissues in my fucking bra. Are you fucking happy? Are you fucking happy? She was crying. And I was just like,
God.
I fucked up. Like, I didn't, I don't know. I was looking at a punk little, like, I don't know, like, I was, now looking back, I remember I was bullied, and I was also bullied. Like, there was a few times, like, this girl I used to bully, like, I would make fun of her all the time. I remember I saw her at Six Flags, and I went up to her, I was like, hey, because I didn't think, I was like, oh shit, that's the girl. I was like, let me go apologize, because we're older, we're in our 20s, and I was like, hey, I don't know if you remember me or anything. She's like, Giovanni Diaz. I was like, oh. I was like, shit. I was like, remember middle school? I was like, yeah. I was like, I was just sorry about all of that. You know what I mean? But, fuck, man.
Damn, bro.
I don't... what the fuck I was gonna say? I killed can you pull up How to Kill Wasp? I just want to show you this video. I have a house now, right?
How to kill wasps.
Yeah, on YouTube. I just want to see this wasp video really quick. We'll fast forward to the good part. There's this white lady who tells us how to kill wasp. Oh, I messaged Tamazula, but yeah, you're right. I might be
He
too
told
wild for
me
him.
earlier today that you messaged
I'm trying to get on a run. I'm trying to do
Well,
other people's podcasts, so I'm gonna put a list
We'll
together.
talk about that
Yeah,
later.
I can hold back.
We'll see. I read the email you sent him. You didn't hold back there. So where are we? What are we looking for?
Okay, go to the second. How to Kill Wasp
The second
Nest.
one?
Go to Kill Wasp Nest. No. How to Kill Wasp Nest. Go back and type in nest.
Nest.
Where's that white lady? Yeah. Go
This
to the first one.
one?
Go to the first one.
Okay.
Yep, there she is. Look at this. This white lady. This is what I watched the other day. It's kind of hot, right?
I'm going to show you how to get rid of a wasp nest.
Now let's
And
skip
we're
a
gonna
little
do
bit to
it
the middle.
without
Let's
any
just start
kind
skipping and
of
see where it's at. All right. Well,
sprays.
yeah.
It's very easy
Blah
to
blah
do.
blah.
It's
All
just-
right.
you never know. And
Pause it for a second. Let me explain basically what you do is you put water, and I did this yesterday, right? You put water in a clear thing, you put a little soap on it, you put it on top of the wasp nest, and you fucking drown them. I was saying, let's fast forward a little bit, see when she gets to drowning. A little right before she drowns
this
them.
glass up now. And what I'm going to do around pretty quickly.
Oh, here, right here. Leave it
So
here.
here
I like
we
this
go.
part.
Oh my God.
The thing is,
No.
you don't want them to escape. Ooh,
Oh, he's
got
getting out.
One of them got out. Happened to be us.
So I want them all in the water. Okay, I had to dismantle
Damn.
Like,
the nest.
she's going to explain how it's
I just
fine.
scraped it with the top of the cup
We're drowning right now. The wasp.
away because there's a little bit of a 1/2-inch lip, and I was going to get some of the wasps. We're going to be flying away.
They're
Now,
slowly.
Dude, this
yeah,
is
it's kind of tragic
fucking.
to watch them, and they are going to drown. But
What the
you know
fuck?
what? That's okay.
That's okay. Let me hear that part again. That's the part I love.
Sorry.
So this white lady.
It's harsh as fuck.
Listen to this
Gonna
fucking.
be, flying away. Now, yeah, it's kind of tragic to watch them, and they are going to drown. But you know what?
That's okay.
Dude, that lady gives me like you know that she goes out on purge night,
Dude.
Like, you know that.
This bitch is a serial killer,
Oh,
dude.
for real.
So the listeners, she puts a cup, a glass, puts it in a wasp, it drowns them, and she looks at him. She's like, "It's okay." She's like, "Look, they're gonna drown. It's kind of tragic, but that's okay." So let's
Fuck
take
this. Oh my god.
So this bitch is up to something. But I had a wasp nest. And this works, guys. So you do have a wasp nest. I have you just put the glass, and one of them did get away from me. But I was going to say, I'm not a serial killer, but it's like, it's me or them, motherfucker.
It was oddly satisfying though. Like she got them all in one cup. Like damn, didn't give them a chance.
The same thing happened to me. Like one of them got away from, one of them.
You're gonna come back and shoot that bitch up.
Yeah,
man.
dude.
Black and yellows don't play, man.
Black and yellow, black and yellow. They were kings. They were fucking kings.
Yeah, that's Kilo Kai right there.
Kilo Kai wasp. But speaking of kilo, she did about a kilo last week. You almost OD'd.
Yeah, man, that shit was crazy as fuck. Like, what happened was I was recording a podcast. I record my podcast. In house. So like, he helps me out with all kinds of stuff. So we had some guests over, and there were younger kids. They just started off a podcast up in Aurora, and up in Aurora, there's not too many.
The Chaco kids or whatever.
Yeah, the Chaco boys or whatever. They ended up starting their own podcast. Shout out to them. And I was like, fuck it, come on my podcast. I usually do my podcast like in the city. It's kind of like people come on there to promote stuff. They kind of know it's kind of a little bit of a platform where a lot of people kind of listen to it. So I have no problem promoting, especially other podcasts. Like I'm all for like having more people in the game because that builds a bigger market. You feel me? Yeah. So I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll promote your podcast. So they came on and we did an episode, and I get coke, you know what I'm saying? When I got the homies over and shit, like I have them in the background, we'll buy a gram and shit, nothing crazy, and we'll break it down into play. And then as the podcast goes on, when the camera's not on me and it's on them or whatnot, I was doing bumps, and I was doing bumps. And now, when I said I started doing coke like when I was like 2019, so I was like 19 around the time or whatever. That was 2016, 2015. Holy shit. Yeah, like 2015, because I'm 25 now, so it's been like 6 years now. So yeah, but anyway, so at that age, like coke was $60 a gram, and coke was really good out there, like because there was not too many people doing it. Mm-hmm. And then eventually, like, people started growing up. I don't know, maybe adults just doing more, and then you become an adult and you realize, oh shit, everybody does coke.
Yeah, that happened to me. I was like, what?
Or there was just a wave in Aurora and everybody became cokeheads. I don't know which one of the two it was, but everybody started doing coke, so then the price went up. It was $100 for a gram. The quality was garbage, you feel me? So it's been a long time. I honestly, it's been at least 2 to 3 years since I had some good coke. Now, it was so good that it was bad, I'll tell you. So it was like, when I grabbed it, it was like butter, you know what I'm saying? So
It was like off the
brick. And the guy that gave it to me, he's like, hey man, I'm a big fan of the podcast. Like, I usually re-rock this shit, but I hooked you up.
Yeah,
he's like, I hooked you up. He's like, I gave you that shit raw.
And people don't re-rock is you take it and then you mix it in with like an agent, like something, and then you fucking, and then you whatever, you put it in cold water, get it out. That way it looks like, it still like has that rocky. So like a rock, because people want a rock. You know what I mean? They want a rock. They don't want a fucking powder. Yeah. And they're like, oh yeah, look, it's a rock. That happened to me. I was like, oh, this is a rock. You stupid. Fuck you, Angel. No, anyways, go ahead. You piece of shit. Like, no, everybody else said it was good. You're a fucking liar.
Like sometimes they re-rock
character.
They re-rock it, but when you tap that bitch, that shit crumble and it be trash. But anyway, I don't know. Allegedly, right? Or whatever the fuck you were saying. But anyway, so I got this sack off of him, right? And I'm like, whatever. So my homie ends up breaking it down. He's doing most of it behind me, and I'm doing a podcast. And then like when they're talking, I'm like, fuck it, let me get some. So he's giving me the sack, and I'm just doing like a crazy amount, like, you know what I'm saying, Sophia and Honduras. I'm doing big bumps, and then mostly it's not because I'm like, oh, I'm trying to get so high. It's because me and my homie went half on it, and I feel like he's snorting most of it.
Like, you ain't gonna get me,
fuck
motherfucker.
You, motherfucker. I'm taking big bumps. So I started taking big bumps. Then like maybe like minute 40 of the podcast, I think it was like maybe an hour. So minute 40, like 20 minutes left. I'm starting to feel like not like I'm getting to that point where I told you I start shutting down. So I'm doing a podcast. This is not good because I don't even give a fuck about what they're saying no more. Like, shout out to them, I love them and everything, but at this point you're coked out. So I'm just like, wrap this shit the fuck up. I'm trying to go get fucked up, get more coke. So I kind of like let them do the talking, and then you could even hear the podcast at the end of it. They're talking shit. I'm like, all right, man, where can the people find you? Like, let's get the fuck out of here. Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here, man. And the people brought that up to me. They're like, why you cut them boys off? I'm like, oh, because I overdosed. Like, I don't know. But I ended up, so anyway, they end up leaving. My homie ends up staying, and we keep storing in the same bag. But this shit is so good that we're not even halfway through that shit. And I'm feeling like crazy, right? So my homie, it's a weeknight, it's a Wednesday, August 4th. My homie's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. He do installation, be up at 4 a.m. type shit. So he left, and he took the sack with him. I'm like, take it with you, bro. Like, I don't want no more because I'm not gonna sleep. I gotta work tomorrow too. He takes it with him. At this point, like, my heart is beating super fast right now. I'm already a big dude. I'm already, super. If you're not watching this on YouTube, I'm 400 pounds, so I'm big as fuck. Like, my heart don't need anything else. I'm already fucked. Like, so I'm fucking. So anyway, my shit's pounding, right, and I'm feeling like it just feels like the back of my shoulder, is just kind of like feeling numb, but like a pinch. It doesn't hurt, but it's uncomfortable. You feel me? Like, something doesn't feel right, and my shit's still pounding fast as fuck. I'm geeked as hell. My teeth are grinding and shit. So I'm like, fuck this. I need to come down, And I like to smoke. Like, smoking is like my drug of choice, I would say, right under cocaine. So I end up sitting down, and we had like bud and like a bong and shit, but I felt like that shit was gonna be too aggressive. I was like, we had like a little dab pen or whatever, little wax pens and shit. So I was like, I'm gonna just hit the wax pen. So I hit the wax pen like maybe 6-7 times, where I just fucking ripped it because I'm like, I'm way too geeked. I need to calm the fuck down. So I got way too high, and then like in my mind, it's like, I don't know if you guys ever done dabs or if you guys ever smoked so much where your mind just goes to a different dimension.
It's too much, bro.
But then you come back down like minutes after, you're like, okay, I'm high as fuck, but my mind, like when you first hit the bong and you're just choking, you lose oxygen to the brain,
Right.
So that's how I felt, but I wouldn't come down. I just wouldn't come down, So at this, now I'm geeked and high as fuck. I could hear my heartbeat,
I hate that.
And and I'm just like, fuck. And this guy, he's knocked out on the couch, he's my roommate. And we end up, so I'm like, fuck it.
We're in the Bible, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, fuck it. Like I'm gonna go to the room. So I'm in my bedroom now. There's a desk and a chair. So I sit on my desk and I'm just sitting down, trying to calm down, but I'm still high. And at this point, my body, like, I cannot remain sitting down. I have to get up because I feel like if I stay still, my heart's gonna stop. Like, I just boom, 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 boom. So I'm like, fuck. So I get up and I start pacing in my room from the door to like the other corner, and I'm walking back and forth. And there's a ceiling fan in my room, but no AC. So it starts to get hot, but my body feels so cold, and I'm getting cold sweats like a motherfucker. So I'm like, shit. So I'm pacing. And at this point, I'm starting to get cotton mouth. My throat's drying up, and I'm like, fuck, I need some water. So I go to the bathroom. I start drinking sink water and shit. Like, and I fucking start to calm down, and I go back to my room. And at this point, I'm trying to get a grasp of air. Like, when you breathe super, like, you breathe in, and then your lungs open up, and then you breathe out, like, you yoga or some shit like that, But every time I try to breathe in, I'm not being able to grasp that air that I want. Like, I'm getting air, but it's just enough to stay alive, not to like feel calm. So I'm just like, I'm panicking and shit. And at this point, like, my heart's still beating, and then my chest starts hurting, my hand starts tingling, my left hand. So like, I kind of like, being a big guy, you kind of have like alerts out for heart attacks because you got to be careful, And I obviously, like, anyway, we'll get to the end. But anyway, so I'm like, fuck, this feels like a heart attack, like a stroke.
It's a big one.
Yeah. I was like, fuck, finally, So I'm like, fuck, I need to get air. So I have a sliding door in the back. So I go, at this point, I'm walking to the back of my apartment, trying to get the stick, because we, still hood, so we try to take the wooden stick from the sliding door and shit. So as I'm trying to get down and get the stick out the door,
Donatello thing,
like, my head is still feeling like high, and I feel like I just got flashbanged by a like Modern Warfare shit. You feel me? Yeah. So I'm just like, I'm trying to reach for the stick, but I can't get it. Finally, I grab it, I yank it the fuck out, I open the sliding door, and I run out to the parking lot, which is in the back of my apartment. And I'm walking back and forth, and and at that point, I'm realizing this isn't right. I need to get help. I need to go somewhere right now. And I'm still trying to grasp for air. No air. My anxiety's through the roof, and my heart's still pounding. I'm literally holding my chest like this, bro. I'm like this, right? Like air. And then I feel like I live in a complex that only has 4 apartments per building, but then there's more buildings. So I could hear people like in other buildings, like I could feel like they're whispering, but I don't know if I'm so fucked up or if they're really out there looking at me fucking overdose.
Like, look at him.
But and at this point, I don't know I'm overdosing. I'm kind of this fat motherfucker had too many tenders. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, fuck.
He's like,
and there's a fucking train track right behind my apartment. Like, it's like a cargo, you know, so it's not like CTA or anything, but it just starts coming. So it's like, you hear the fucking, and then that just, I felt like I was in a fucking action movie. Like, everything's moving so fucking fast, bro. The train is making, and I'm just like, what the fuck? So I'm like, at this point, I just look at the couch and I see him, like his head sticking out the fucking side of the couch because he's tall. So I'm like, I need to get to him so he can take me to the hospital. So I start making like my walk to him. And as I'm making my walk, I'm about to go through the back door of the apartment to wake him up to take me to the hospital. I get like that deep breath of air, like that I was fucking looking for. And I find my lungs opened up and I got one. I was able to get one, but that one right there helped me calm down enough to where I was like, okay, let me grasp myself. I'm not going to wake him up yet, because I realized I was like, if I go to the hospispital, they're probably gonna call my parents. Like, I don't know how the fuck, like, that shit's gonna be a problem. Like, how the fuck am I gonna explain to my parents, oh, I'm sorry, I've been a cokehead for
6 years.
Yeah, you know. So my parents, you know, like, you know, they're immigrants, you know, they don't speak English, so they don't fucking know, you feel me? Like, and then so I was like, just the thought of me having to look my mom in the eyes from the hospital bed and being like, I'm sorry, I was like, dude, fuck that shit. I'd rather fucking die, bro. And that's what I chose to do. Like, I was ready, bro. Like, at that point, so then I pull up my phone, right? I'm like, what am I feeling? So I looked up, how does it, because I kind of figured, right? So I was like, how does it feel when you're overdosing off cocaine? And then I looked, literally everything I was feeling was listed one by one, like cold sweat. The back of my head felt like I was getting a brain freeze. Like, you know, they say the vessels start fucking up. So I couldn't feel the back half of my brain, bro. And at this point, like, my air is still a problem. I'm spitting everyone's shit. My air is still a problem. My air is still a problem and shit. So I'm like, fuck, like, what the fuck am I gonna do, right? And at that point, I kind of just, like, I get on my knees, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna go to the hospital. Like, if this is where I fucking die, bro. I was like, you know, I'm not a religious person, but I was kind of just talking out to the universe or whatever. I'm like, man, if this is where the fuck, if like this is it for me, wrap it up. Like, fuck it. You feel me? Like, I chose this life. I live by this shit. Every weekend I ate like shit. Every day I ate like shit. Every weekend I partied and put shit in my body. Like, I'm surprised it took this fucking long for it to happen, you know? So at that point, I'm just like, I'm not going to the hospital. Whatever happens, right? So then, when I made that realization and I was kind of okay with the outcome, like, I did this, and like you said, I've done some shit in my life that I feel like sometimes, like, fuck it, you feel me? It is what it is. And I was like, fuck it, man. At this point, like, I've done some grimy shit too. Like, fuck it is what it is. This is the end for me, you know? So I was so sad because at that point I had like crazy shows lined up. Like, we do stand up, right? So I got like, I'm barely coming into the city. Like, they're booking me a lot more. So like, I'm like, bro, I used to like, being an open micer, you daydream about getting booked at the Laugh Factory. You feel me? And maybe more established comedians. I know this is like a comedy podcast network and everything, so you get headliners and all that shit. But like, to me, like, I still consider every booking as a blessing. I don't give a fuck if it's at a bar show or at a club. For sure, dude. I love that. I love it. You know. And we were talking about doing L&L Tavern, the Red Lobster comedy.
Red Lobster, baby.
Bro, like, shout out to them, bro. Like, to me, like, I know people like say, oh, it's like you were telling me like it's kind of like a joke, but not really. Like, it's a fucking so much fun to be around comedians. Fun. Like, it was just so fun for me. So I was like, and then, you know what? The next day I was going to be at the Lincoln Lodge for the first time, August 5th. I was going to do Smoke Break. It's John McComb's show. And I was like, fuck, like, I've been wanting to come to Lincoln Lodge forever, because like I said, I'm barely coming to the city, so I hear about the Lincoln Lodge, the old Lincoln Lodge, the new Lincoln Lodge. Like, I'm like, fuck, I'm barely getting to know these places, getting to know these people, getting cool with these motherfuckers, and I'm finna fucking die before I could even see this shit pan out, right? And I'm just like, fuck it, you know, it is what it is. But I felt stupid because I'm like, damn, people are gonna have to call people. Like, I think we had already booked this. They gonna have to let Giovanni know I died and shit. Like, that shit gonna suck, bro. Like, I wonder who gonna replace me, you know? So I'm like, fuck. So,
baby horchata.
Yeah. and they end up what's it called? Anyway, so I'm like, fuck, you know, whatever. So I end up putting on my favorite podcast. So I put on Your Mom's House.
Fuck yeah.
It's my comfort show, you know. Like, when I'm super coked out and I feel like I can't come down, I put on Your Mom's House by Tom Segura and you know his wife Christina, or I really like listening to the Honeydew with Ryan Sickler because they're just like comfort podcasts. It makes you feel good in a way, you know. Yeah.
Tim Dillon episode on Honeydew is amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
Origin story, but continue.
Yeah. So I put on Your Mom's House and I was just watching the episode and I sit down on my I put all my 4 pillows up. Like I cleaned up my room a little bit. I was like, fuck, they're gonna have to come and might find me dead. I don't want them to see my shit stained boxers. I'm gonna put this shit away.
Fucking God, bro.
So I lay down on the bed, you know, and I'm kind of put my head against the wall because I don't got a bedboard because broke. And then I end up fucking playing the podcast. Like I could breathe a little better, but my heart's still like, dun, 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 dun. I could hear it, bro. I'm just waiting for it. I'm waiting for me to stop hearing it. And I'm like, I'm about to die. You know, I'm waiting for that moment to happen. And I end up like, and I'm still coming in and out of consciousness. And I could just hear like the laughter of the podcast. And I put my head back and then I wake up in the morning. And I was like, what the fuck? And I don't have no curtains in my room. It's just the blinds. So the sun is beaming in my fucking face. And I'm like, fuck, like, am I in heaven? Like, I don't know what's going on, right? Because I'm like so close to death. Like, I don't know where I'm at. So I get up from my bed and my body feels weird. I feel like I just got into a fight. Like my body's so fucking sore, specifically my chest. So I'm like, did this really just
your
happen?
heart's just fucking knocking your chest
I end up taking off my shirt to look at my chest. My whole chest is like bruised up just because I was fucking pounding on that shit.
Fucking
the night
King
before.
Kong, motherfucker.
Yeah, I was fucking doom,
Denzel.
Doom. And then like I walk outside and I fucking I'm looking at the fucking trees and shit, the birds. I'm like, this shit's so beautiful. Like that shit was like a wake up call, you know. And then I did the link, and I remember that whole week I was on time for work because I late all the time. And that whole week I was like, it was Wednesday when that happened. So Thursday, I clocked in 7 minutes late, and I remember I was like, fuck, dude, if I wouldn't have overdosed, I would have been I would have had perfect on-time attendance for the week, but I couldn't do it. And then the next day I went to the Lincoln Lodge, and I just remember that room. I don't know how many rooms there is. Like I said, it was my first time there. It was a smaller room though, right in the corner right there. And it was probably halfway full. Like the middle there was nobody there. All the comics were against the wall. And just being in that room with so many comedians and like getting on stage again and like having like it's so small room, but if you're funny, that shit gonna still knock. You feel me?
Yeah.
So like that shit was knocking, bro. Like it was supposed to be like a commentary show, I remember. Like you only do 2 minutes and then they have like a panel that kind of riffs with you. Well, after I did my 2 minute set, they kind of didn't say shit. They were like, oh, that was funny, you know? And I was like, okay, well, can I keep going or you want me to keep talking? They're like, fuck it, keep going. So they just kind of let me do my whole set, and I had the most fun. And I just remember, like, that moment I walked out of Lincoln Lodge, and then I saw so many other comedians in the lobby. It was like Facebook in real life for me. Like I said, I don't be around here too much, so I was like, holy shit, you know? Ran into some homies, dapped them up, and I was like, bro, this is what I love in my life. Like, I love stand-up, like, with all my heart, bro. Like, I really do love that shit. So I would, like, I've said this before, like, the best night of coke for me has never been better than my worst night of stand-up comedy, you know? And I that's the love of my life. So I was like, I'm not gonna fucking throw this shit away just trying to get high, you feel me, after a show, especially because I don't even need it to podcast. I just do it to, like I said, after I got more geeked, I couldn't even do the podcast.
Right?
And then
you can't perform.
My timing is so fucked up off coke. Like I just cannot. I absolutely. It was so hard for me to get to not do coke before my show, especially like at the Laugh Factory when they book you for that 11 p.m. show and on a Friday night. It's like, bro, it's 7 p.m. I should already be geeked as fuck right now, but I have to force myself and wait. And I'm like, and after you get off your set, you're like, dude, I don't even want coke. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm already high off this shit. Like, the fucking adrenaline, you know? So, yeah, and then I did a show at the Comedy Shrine the week after. Less than a week, I had overdosed. I did a show the 17th of August. Oh, no, it was actually a week and a half, actually. So a week and a half after that, I did the show at the Comedy Shrine. Like, the people in Aurora really fuck with me. So that club sits like 400 people. We brought like 300 motherfuckers in there. It was fucking packed. And then, like, they let me close it out. They let me do like a 20-minute set. And, you know, just like when they brought my name out just to, I mean, it's a dope feeling having a following. Like, it sucks that's only in Aurora, right? Because I can't come out here and do the same shit. But still, like walking on stage while people are roaring, while you know what I'm saying? Because they fuck with you, they listen to you every single week. It's like, I walked on stage and I grabbed the mic. I was like, dude, like, this is, I used to like dream about this shit. Sometimes I put on headphones and when I'm working on new bits or whatever, I walk around my kitchen and I'm just picturing myself walking on the stage and people like, you know, like cheering for you. And it was just like, this is all I ever wanted. And I got it. I'm so close to like this is my life, you feel me? Like, I'm getting these bookings that I always wanted, like, and I ain't shit yet. I'm an open mic. I'm not finna lie to y'all, but just like it's becoming more real every booking, every show, every year. As long as I'm keep hustling, it keeps getting more real. And I'm like, and as I'm getting on stage that day, I'm just like, fuck partying, fuck that shit. Like, I'm gonna focus on this shit. And my money financially, like, I mean, just in the 2 or 3 weeks that I've been sober, like,
You're a millionaire.
dude, I got a house now. We buy fucking podcast equipment and shit. Like, we're making upgrades in the crib, bro.
I look back and I realize the money I've spent like on fucking strippers, hookers, drugs. I was like, I could have bought fucking a few fucking houses, but fuck. All right, I gotta close it up now. But no. So anybody, you hear that out there? If you if you want a new lease on life, overdose on coke first, and then go to an open mic, and then no, but you got, man, it's good to hear that, dude. Good to have you on here.
Yeah.
You want plugs? We're closing it up here. Any plugs? Anything? The last things you want to say?
I don't.
And then go to his YouTube. I want to hear his song.
Oh yeah, that's
Go to
right.
YouTube and go to Talking My Shit.
If you're in Chicago, I'll be here. Zany's on August 29th. I'm doing the Sunday social. The homie Jamal's put me on that show. And then September 5th, I'm doing a Mikey O show with Joey Villagomez. So
that's a Labor Day weekend one, right?
Labor Day weekend, yeah. So those are my
dude.
next few shows that I got coming up. And
show, dude.
Just
and
go
I'm
to Talking My Shit in the beginning. I want to hear that beginning.
Yo,
I love that part of it. He's motherfucking get drunk here.
Yeah. And that couch right there is where I was doing those bumps, and I was just walking back and forth. That's my sliding door back there where I walked out, almost died, didn't think I was gonna come back in. That's also the same couch where this motherfucker was passed out while I was dying.
I'm trying to sleep, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And Mr. James Webb, you want to plug yourself?
Well, hold on now. He's got socials and shit.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
gotta
socials. My bad.
out there.
The podcast you can follow at Talking My Shit Podcast on Instagram. My Instagram is 2skinny300. And then podcast drops around every Monday, and Talking My Shit. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really.
Your TikTok and everything like that? Or?
2skinny300. That shit, man. I've been trying to get that shit off the ground. That shit does not work
TikTok
for me.
is the key, bro.
Yeah.
Get that shit going.
I'm trying. This guy, he does all my video edits and stuff, so he's been giving me more material, more clips.
Get ready,
I just
dude.
say a lot of fucking dumb shit, so they always flag me. So I just gotta watch out what I say.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, TikTok?
Yeah.
Those fucking Chinese. I swear to fucking...
Yep.
Those sons of fucking bitches. Fuck. Oh, okay. Mr. James, do you have any other plugs?
Stand up is back. I think. I don't know. I'm back and forth on that shit. But if we're back, come see us. We're the first Friday of every single month at District Bar and Grill, one of the coolest looking places in Chicago to do anything, but especially see comedy. Also, if you want to start a podcast and you live in Chicago, hit me up at People of Comedy Network on Instagram. We have the lowest rates in town for the most shit that you can get for the money, and that's oh yeah, I'm gonna plug one thing. Pat Tomasulo, if you guys know him, WGN sports guy, whatever, we are recording his special at Zany's December 11th at Zany's Rosemont. If you want to come to that, tickets will be available when this is out. They will be available, and they will sell out fast. It's one night only, 2 shows.
What day is it?
December 11th. It's a Saturday, I believe. So please come see Pat. He's one of the best comics in the city or anywhere, and we'd love to have you in the room for that.
Lobo Den Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, the Lobo Den. Follow the Patreon. Listen to episode 100 exclusively on Patreon. Tell a friend if you like the podcast. Message me for something. I forgot what. I was thinking about something. Did I write this down? No, I fucking didn't. But yeah. God damn it! I had one more. Oh yeah, I'm gonna probably gonna produce a show. I don't know if I'm going to perform it. I'm producing it. September 21st. It's going to be in my area, neck of the woods, probably at this place called a.k.a., which was that other place called Clark's. And my other friend hears it. He's going to get pissed off because that's his cousin. They don't like each other. But I'm going to try to bring out some bangers to that one. So I'm probably going to be producing that show for the money. All right, Lobo.
Lobo Den, Lobo